Hi everyone, welcome back to Gavin Reads It All, your favourite personality here on BookTube, because I ain't offering anything else. It is 1 p.m. and I only poured the glass of wine for the thumbnail. And I might as well just drink it. I might as well just drink it now, why not? It's 1 p.m. on a Sunday. This is the 2025 vibe. And I'm kind of scared to even have this near me, considering for my True Crime and Wine night 2 nights ago, I ended up spilling my glass all over my carpet. It looked like a crime scene. Poor Ash, my cat. He ended up getting splashed a little bit with it. He didn't get too much splash on him, but a little bit of red wine was splashed on him. So to even just have this anywhere near me is causing me a little bit of anxiety. I'll put it down because I feel like maybe I'm also causing you some anxiety and I don't want that to happen. Just one more sip. So today's video, I'm going to be reading 3 very hot, steamy, gay romances that my friend Kristen recommended. So Kristen, I met on my Japan trip with Trover Trip back in September 2023. And then we also met up again in Egypt last year for my second Trover Trip. And Kristen gave me some very hot and steamy romance recommendations. And I haven't really found a 5-star romance. And I'm looking for the hottest, the steamiest, the gayest romance that I can get my hands on that will hopefully give 5 stars. I need another sip, sorry. I am also very late to bring this out. I wanted this out for Valentine's Day. It is now March 2nd to be precise. So that plan went out the window, but it's fine because we're making up for it now. So in my endeavor to find a 5-star gay romance, Kristen gave me 7. No, hang on, can I count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 7 recommendations. I will put the list on the screen. I'm not going to read all 7. I don't have the time. And have you seen the size of some of these books? I'm sure one of them is 700 pages. Does a romance really need to be 700 pages? I don't know. Hopefully this changes my mind. But I have picked 3 from this list. But this is the list that Kristen gave me when we were in Egypt together. The top 2 recommendations is Heated Rivalry and The Long Game. She says they're both hockey romance and it's a couple within a series. You only really need to read about this couple. I will not hear negative reviews about this. Very spicy. So I literally can't say anything bad about this one. And I have picked, for my first book in my TBR for this video, will be Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reid. That will be my very first read of this video. So what I'm going to start with today, I have my trusty Kindle that I am going to read it on because I don't own any of these books physically. And then the next 2 recommendations, Gavin Park and Lot 62, Trailer Park Romance, Reid, Trigger Warnings, Toxic Relationship, very spicy. I've decided not to go for either of these ones just yet, but I might do in the future. The next one is God of Fury. And this is Mafia Romance. Again, read Trigger Warnings. We have Stalking, Toxic, Spicy AF as well. And then For the Fans, which is by Nyla K, is the second book that I'm going to read in this video. Apparently it's Step Brothers Romance. Now, I've never read a Step Brothers romance before. Oh, actually, no, that's a lie. I did read Are You There, God? I thought I heard Cody masturbating, but it just turned out to be Grandma stirring a pot of shells and cheese. I've read that one. And that one, I believe, was Step Brothers Romance. Or was it Brothers Romance? No, I think it was Step Brothers. It wasn't very good. But I have decided to go for the Fans because that's also a one that a lot of people have heard of. And when I've mentioned this to other people, they've been like, oh my God, I love For the Fans. So that's what I'm going to read. I'm going to read it for the fans. And then the last one is Egotistical Puckboy by Eden Finley and Saxon James. That will be the 3rd book that I read in this video. It sounds pretty good. It's spicy hockey romance. And why not? So we have 2 books I'm reading in this video that are hockey romance. I don't think I've read hockey romance before, so it'll be good to read really gay ones. Because honestly, I'm quite sick of straight romance. I'm sick of the heterosexuals. I'm sick of them shoving their agenda down my throat. So I think it's about time that we have something a little bit more homosexual in my life. So thank you so much, Kristen, for the recommendations. I hope I have a very hot, steamy, wet week ahead of me. And I ain't talking about swamp ass. I'm going to cut that out because that's actually vile. And I'm going to start off with Heated Rivalry before I have a live show later on tonight where I probably should have saved the wine for then, but fuck it, let's just start drinking now. Oh, and please do give this video a like if you enjoy it and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, I'm about to start Heated Rivalry and I need to tell you what it's about. So apparently it follows Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov, and they are both captains of different teams. Shane Hollander is the captain of the Montreal Voyageurs and Ilya is the captain of the Boston Bears. So it is hockey, and Ilya and Shane have an attraction to one another, but their rivalry is legendary, and so I think this is kind of enemies to lovers, or secret lovers, and they're not really enemies, they're just put on a front because if the secret of them hooking up gets out, then it could destroy everything. If two guys get together, it is the end of the world. So if I ever got with someone, it would literally be the gay apocalypse. So can't believe I'm drinking this at 1 p.m. So I have my book of Heated Rivalry ready to go. Oh, it's been so long since I read on my Kindle. Oh my god, how many times do I have to click before I get to the freaking first page? Oh, there we go, prologue.
There used to be a graying tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remains a drug that's the high and not the pill. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave.
I am currently trapped by my cat at the minute. Like, I really want to stop recording because I set up my camera. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I think you can. I set up my camera just to like get some B-roll. And now I think it's been recording for about 20 minutes, which is way too long. All because I can't move. So I can't really talk on my proper camera right now, but I have like started this. I'm only like 2% in, but I love the fact that Shane and Ilya, like already, it's kind of hot between them. There was only like a brief moment at the start where there was the game and Shane lost to Ilya. So he's like very, very annoyed. So Shane went back to his house and is, you know, drowning his sorrows. And then there's a knock at the door and it's Ilya. And then they start kissing. So like he was waiting for him to come. And Shane asks Ilya, how long do you have? And Ilya says 2 hours maybe. And then the narrator's like, he wanted a lot tonight, but they didn't have time for a lot. Are you kidding me? 2 hours? 2 hours isn't a lot. Look, I do love a good, you know, shag. 2 hours is too much. 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. And then I've got shit to do. 2 hours isn't enough time? What the fuck do you need more than 2 hours for? 2 hours. Oh, like I just, is it my age? Is it because I'm in my 30s and I'm like, look, time is too valuable? But Ash is asleep and he's so cute and he's not going to move for like the next hour and a half, which means my camera's going to be recording for like an hour and a half and I'm going to have to cut like all of it, essentially. This is what happens. Every single time I sit down to read or do anything, I get pestered. I get pestered by the pussy. And that is not what I want to get pestered by. And great, now the sound bar has gone off, which means I can't even listen to my ambience because the remote is over there and I definitely can't reach it. Ash, I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now.
There is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. Baby, to me you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave.
Okay, I had to move, Ash. It was over an hour of the camera just recording and I was getting really hungry. And also I don't like the fact that I'm reading this kind of stuff with my baby right there. It's not right. It's not right. So Ash, don't look at me. Don't look at me, please, as I'm reading this or talking about this either. So I was clutching my pearls a couple of times because we do get pretty much straight into the story. I will try my best to avoid like spoilers for like major story things, but this is a romance, so you do kind of get the idea that they do get together and it's hot and steamy. So I'm going to stick to like the romance stuff and the steamy stuff and all of that. So if that's okay with you, that's okay with me. So yeah, I'm 14% in. I'm just starting chapter 5, and I didn't love the fact that we had like a bit of a prologue bit. Well, it's more like that's set in the present, and then we go back 7 years into the past. So yeah, the prologue is set in 2016, and then we go back to 2009, 2010 to see how the relationship between Shane and Ilya develops. And so far it is developing pretty nicely, pretty quickly, which sometimes I don't love. I don't love it when we have these romances that happen pretty quickly, but I think because they haven't lost their character in doing so, I don't mind it when a romance is quick, as long as the characters remain true to themselves. And the characters, they don't really like one another. There's definitely that feeling of a rivalry between them. And Shane definitely, because we get more of it from his perspective, Shane definitely doesn't like Ilya, and he thinks him a bit of a dick. And to be fair, yes, when they first meet, Ilya is very dickish. He doesn't come across as like very nice, and there is that whole competition between them, and Shane like getting picked second, it's like pissing him off and stuff like that. It's definitely cool, but like at the same time, Shane and Ilya, well, at least Shane, he doesn't seem to be like 100% gay. Like, he has been with women, so he might be bisexual, but none of that has been like said explicitly. So all of this is like new to him, and I kind of love the fact that he feels a bit embarrassed by the fact that he is starting to be attracted to Ilya. So I love that there was a scene at the hotel gym, and it's just the two of them by themselves, and there's a bit of a spark between them. It's a bit of a like a heated moment between them, but nothing happens. And then later on, which is when I kind of like clutched my pearls a little bit, we have Shane and Ilya. They've just done like this photo shoot thing, and they're both in like the showers, which is like totally open. And when I was in Iceland last month, I could not, like, I was almost in this situation myself. So there was like the sauna and like I already forgot, like the hot springy kind of place. There was like a secret lagoon thing, and in order to get in, you had to like shower first. But the first one that we went to, it was all open. The showers were all open, and I've never been in showers with strangers before. And so I took one look at it, and then I turned around and left. Like, I couldn't do that in front of all of these strangers. And it was like, you know, split between men and women. So I was like in the men's changing room bit. And while it could have been hot, I did not want to get naked in front of people. I am not that confident in myself. I am still very self-conscious of my own body, that I cannot get naked in front of people I do not know. Ash is definitely having a shit right now. Great. So I kind of get this situation that Shane and Ilya are in the fact that Shane is like, for the first time, he's like, oh, I've always been around guys who, you know, shower, and I feel weird about it now because it's usually nothing, but now I'm kind of noticing things, and I'm noticing him. And that is just like a very electric kind of feeling to read about. And so I liked that moment between them, because like they start like almost like touching themselves, but like not doing too much. I'm starting to get like embarrassed talking about it, but like they start, you know, doing like some hot things, but like not really, like they don't go all the way, they don't touch one another or anything like that. It's still very reserved. Like, they are keeping themselves reserved, and they just like kind of have a plan to meet later that night at his hotel room. It's kind of killing the mood. Kiara and Ash take a shit. Still like in the changing rooms, Ilya asks Shane what his room number is, and Shane says 1410. And Ilya says, if I knock on door of room 1410 tonight, maybe around 9. Shane says, I might open the door. And Ilya says, I might knock. And then they do. So that whole scene was definitely very intense. It was very steamy. Like, it wasn't like too overly detailed or anything, because it was like their first time together. It was still quite hot to read about. And I kind of like the clumsy way that Shane goes about it, because again, like, this is his first time. So yeah, that was hot. That was pretty hot. And we're still very, very early in. Like, again, I'm only just starting chapter 5. I'm definitely expecting it to get even steamier and probably like more detailed as we go on too. I will say, every time one of them releases, like, this is said quite a lot now, whenever there's like a release, it literally says until his release fell all over his own stomach, until his release was all over his hands. So the overuse of the word his release, I'm going to keep my eye on that. But so far, so good. And now I'm starving, so I do need to eat something. I still have like an hour and a half before my live show later on with my patrons, so I will definitely get a lot more read by then. If you've been watching me, you know I get my Thrive meals, and it just really helps with like meals and stuff. So this is the shoyu chicken thighs. with Hawaiian cabbage rice, chili, roasted corn, and pineapple chutney, which I will be putting on. But yeah, looks lovely. I will leave a link to a discount that you can get if you use my code. Not sponsored, but just in case you want to give the meal prep a try. That is very tasty. I've got like 7 minutes now until my live show, and I am 25% into the story. I did end up downloading the audiobook as well because it was only £3. So I got the audiobook, and it's so different, like hearing someone actually read these words out loud. Like I'm feeling way more embarrassed. So like this is just essentially like the fornication. The fornication of it all, rather than like story, I guess, which is fine because I do feel like I want to read and enjoy, just like the steam. I just want to hear about gay love. And so, yeah, it's just been like more trying to keep things secret between them. They've just done, I don't know how much I should like say out loud because like this will get demonetized so fast. It probably already is. But they've done like the ANAL for the first time. And yeah. Oh, I think I hear something purring and it's not my cats. Very, very hot scene. Very, very hot, yeah. It's so interesting seeing the kind of lust between them develop rather than love. Like, they haven't caught feelings, which is fantastic for me because I do hate how I just want to read something smutty and steamy and just leave the romance out of it. Leave it out, because sometimes it gets way too mushy way too quickly and it gets too soppy. But this is like seriously still 25% in, quarter of the way through, still all steam, no cream. No. All steam, all cream, no phlegm, which means feeling. I can't believe I'm stopping now to watch wholesome episodes of Once Upon a Time. I just kind of love how Ilya is just such a dick. Like, he has such a smirk, but at the same time, it would be very hot to have someone like so cocky, so confident, and to say these things where, like, what was the thing that made me laugh a little bit? Oh, when he picks up Hollander. I might as well call them by their last names because that's what they do. They call each other like Rosanov and Hollander, so I might as well do that as well. So Hollander, Shane, Rosanov picks him up and he's like, put me down, asshole, I can walk. And the way that Rosanov just like drops him and Shane like glares at him, and the way that Rosanov has like this smirk, in the way that he just looks, he's so cocky. He's so cocky. And usually I despise people like that. I'm just like, who gave you the right as a man to be confident in anything? But he just is. He just is. Oh, I don't know how much more I can take. 5-minute ad break right now. Yeah, I just loved Chapter 7. That's when they did the ANAL part. You know what, my patrons might have to wait because like I need to talk about this first. It was so relatable when Shane was like getting himself prepared, and you know, he's got the lube and everything, and he feels like scared of like maybe they might end up in the hospital, maybe it's too big, and he's just looking at Ilya and all of that. You're too big to fit in here. Too big to fit in here. Too big to fit in here. I get those feelings. I totally get it. I understand. But it is just sex. And sometimes that's fine. Sometimes that's all you need. I should probably do my live show now.
Hook marked it clearly. Uncle Suspensago is here.
So I didn't quite manage to finish Heated Rivalry after my live show last night, and that's fine. I do have the rest of today to do what I need to do. I had personal training this morning, been in the shower, I've made my first coffee of the day, which it's like 2 p.m. For this being my first coffee, I'm like, wow, like I have come so far. I used to drink this up by the bucket load from the moment I open my eyes to the moment I go to sleep. But no, this will most likely be my first and only coffee of today. So I will be finishing Heated Rivalry today. But while I have all of this energy, I was thinking I could give my house a proper good clean, because this house needs to be cleaned while my mind is being very dirty with this book. Seriously, I haven't read filth in so long. So long. Even the romantasy books I read in December weren't this filthy. It's probably already been like the steamiest book that I've read in such a long time, which is great. But yeah, I kind of want to put my energy into making the house look presentable. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue listening to the audiobook, put my headphones in, and make use of this energy that I still have from this morning. And I want to continue that momentum today by cleaning this goddamn house. Let me show you how messy this house is. Oh, before the tour as well, I do have a Ghostface t-shirt on that I got from HMV a couple of weeks ago. I love it. It's still cold, but I'm going to get really hot doing all of this housework because I'm just not used to it, am I? So the kitchen needs to go clean. Like the table needs to clean. I need to do the dishes. Need to tidy around the cat litter as well. I need to flat pack some boxes and put them in recycling. The floors need, well, firstly, to get a lot of these cat toys put away. I need to flat pack more boxes. The cats just love them though. The cats love the boxes. But I need to hoover the floor, tidy up, hoover. There's Ash. Hiya, Ash. Oh, you're so cute. Hello, beautiful man. Hello. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you're such a kitty pie. So I try not to disturb the cats as much as possible. I just need to like sort things out. I need to sort things out. And upstairs is probably just as bad as well. So in my bedroom, do I spot Tobu? Yes, I do. Hello, Tobu. Hello, beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, I love you. I have so many clothes that I need to put away. These are clean, but they need to be put away. I did have to get more coat hangers though because I kind of ran out. I got some spare ones there too. But I need more coat hangers because also in my wardrobe, it is full pretty much. And I've got like clothes up here as well. So I need to sort all of this out. Oh my God. This is actually like vile. Like this is actually disgusting. So I need to sort all of this and I will do that today as well. So I apologize in advance, Tobu, for ruining your day. But I've got like washing I need to put away and get done as well. I'm going to keep the Lego box. I've had that for so long now and the cats love it, so I might as well. And I have some boxes coming today so I can box up all of the books that I unhauled last week. So I need to put all of these into boxes. So I'm waiting for that delivery to come. But yeah, most of it's going to be like hoovering, doing dishes, put my clothes away, finding room for it. And I will be listening to Heated Rivalry while I do that. So I'm sorry if this whole section is boring to you. Cleaning my life while dirtying my mind was exactly what was on the agenda today. Every time I do something different, the cats just want to be part of it. I'm on chapter 19 of Heated Rivalry. I managed to finish putting all of my clothes away. I mean, there are still some like things like Oodies and stuff that are like on the top that I just can't fit anywhere, but that's fine. I do need to have a proper good clean of this entire place though, especially with my clothes. There's probably some clothes in there that I just don't wear anymore, so I'd need to get rid of those, but I don't really feel like doing that today, so I'll probably do that next time. I've paused in the middle of a pretty spicy scene again. There's been about like 4 or 5 since I've started cleaning. And again, like, I'm not hating that at all. Like it's absolutely fine to have like a sort of insta-lusty kind of thing with someone, but it's like the love is starting to like form, and it's slow and gradual, and that's something that I'm really enjoying at the minute. I love the fact that them being together isn't really just like straightforward either. Like Ilya is Russian, and there are laws against gay people in Russia, and his own father as well is not like the most accepting. So there's a lot of good things happening with the characters. I do think it's pretty good. A lot of questioning of sexuality, and yeah, it's just it's a good time. It is a good time. Apparently I have an hour and a half left of the audiobook, so I still need a Hoover. I had to charge my Hoover up, so I think it's probably charged now. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the progress I've been making so far. Nash and Toby were just like, what is going on? Like, Daddy, just sit down, stop moving about so much, stop making so much noise. But you know what? Why is it when I'm trying to sleep on the night time, the cats are making all the noise? But when I do it during the day when they're asleep, it's a problem. Oh, the cat's gonna love going in there and just like exploring. Ash wanted to say hello. Didn't you? Didn't you? Yes, you did. Okay, I'll put you down. It is now 6 p.m. I have managed to finish all of the housework that I needed to do, apart from box up the books in this room, because the boxes still haven't arrived. They probably should have arrived by now, so I'm a little bit concerned. And I have also finished Heated Rivalry. It just continued to be steamy. It was a lot of steam, and maybe I did find it getting a little bit repetitive by the end. I've never heard the word slit said so many times in one book. It also, like, the first time I've read it when it's to do with a part of the male anatomy rather than the female anatomy. So that was very interesting, I will say. But I did absolutely love Shane and Ilya. I really did. I fell in love with them. And I am so happy for them, don't get me wrong, but it really should have been me. Trying to put my bitter single ass aside, because this is always my issue when it comes to reading romance. I just get bitter. I am going to give it 4.5. It's a great rating for me, especially with a romance book, because yeah, I don't often give romance books very high ratings. It was just what I needed. It was very entertaining. It did follow a sort of formula, a predictable formula for like the actual story itself, but that's fine. Like, I did have a good time, and that's what I wanted. Just not a perfect 5-star for me, but goddamn, I did love those characters. I really do want to read The Long Game by Rachel Reid as well, which I believe continues their story. I just love like Ilya's sarcasm so much. I love the way that they could talk to one another and still make it hot. Like, they got deep and personal, but they could still easily fall into things being quite hot between them. It felt like a very believable romance too. It felt like something that could happen, despite the whole rivalry thing being, you know, front and center for their relationship to the outside world. You would think, oh, maybe they wouldn't get along, and you don't think that they would become a couple. But hey, the way that they are characterized, the way that they interact, their dialogue being so natural, it felt like it could possibly happen. It felt like it could happen, and it felt like a real and believable romance. So I really enjoyed that. The sex scenes were very, very hot. And that's definitely the strength of this book, more so than anything else. I think the strength of this book is the steam, the character dialogue, the character interactions, and how much I wished it was me instead. I should have played hockey. I actually think it might be my favorite gay romance. Like, when I'm trying to think of other ones I've read, which aren't actually that many, yeah, I think it is my favorite gay romance. Heated Rivalry, Rachel Reid, favorite gay romance. Okay. I still have 2 more books I want to read for this video, so I'm very excited to get into those. I might take the rest of tonight off though from reading because, you know, it's Monday at 6 p.m. and I could start the next one tomorrow. I have Patreon reading sprints tomorrow, and I kind of just want a game tonight. I haven't played a game in so long. I was doing so well in Astrobot, but I haven't played it in so long, so I feel like I'm going to have to like maybe start from the beginning again. Or I could go on my Steam Deck or something. I just want to nerd out tonight. I want to nerd out that doesn't involve books or reading or work or the internet or anything like that. And I think gaming is something I love to do, and I haven't done it in so long. I think New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve was the last time I played a game. Then hopefully my boxes will come and I can finish off doing the last of the jobs that I wanted to get done today.
This is just so fucking good. $8 right now, hell yeah. No, I think so too, especially because like he's like more of an indie author. I could do like what about, I thought I had like a yellow.
Because I want to kind of gently start my brain whirring on book writing stuff. I'd like to avoid social media if I can. Yeah, and I think I got to like grab my fountain pen, get out my notebook, and just start jotting down some creative ideas. Hello everyone, small time skip. I'm now ready to go. It is almost 9 a.m. I think after I go for my nice long walk, thank goodness it's not that hot today. We're in summer here in Australia, of course. It's only like 25 degrees today. Thankfully, it's not molten outside, which is really, really good.
This is technically now like day 3 of reading nothing but steam, and I am about to start For the Fans by Nyla K. So I don't really know what it's about, I just know it's stepbrothers, which again is like very interesting to me. Like that sounds like it should be taboo. So let's see what this is about. So we follow Avi and Kieran. Avi, Kieran. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce their names. I might end up getting the audiobook for this as well, because again it's only £3 because the Kindle version was on Kindle Unlimited. So I guess you can get the audiobook for £3 if you download it from Kindle Unlimited, so that's what I've done. So Kieran is rich, popular superstar football player, and he is Avi's stepbrother. It must be dual POV because the summary has like a perspective from both of them, and Kieran is saying like, yeah, he's everything I'm not. He's a grouchy jerk. I want to evade, but we're stuck together in this house, sharing a school, sharing a house, a bathroom. And he's apparently an uptight control freak who messes with me just because we're different. And then Avi, this is from Kieran's perspective, is a dreamer, a flake, an artist who smokes too much weed and thinks aliens exist. Okay. And by some sick cosmic joke, he's now my stepbrother. Follow me on what should have been my escape plan. And Kieran needs to do something drastic if he wants to stay as the all-star quarterback on his way to the NFL. Maybe we can stop hating each other just enough to pull this off, as long as we remember we're only doing it for the fans. What is this? For the fans? So are they recording each other? Okay, are they doing like OnlyFans maybe? Everything we do is for the fans. And it looks like they're recording each other. And he needs to like, okay, For the Fans is a full-length standalone MM forbidden romance with an HAA, so a happily ever after. Book contains sensitive subject matter, which might make readers feel uncomfortable. A lot of these romances do seem to have something, for some reason, like pretty tragic in them. So in Heated Rivalry, Ilya's father had Alzheimer's. And that was something that's like very tragic and very real and upsetting. So to have something that also has sensitive subject matter in a steamy gay romance, I'm like, is this like a requirement for every male romance book? Or is it just because I'm pulling from a very small pool? This could just be the thing. It has great reviews online, so yeah, For the Fans. Let's see if this can top Heated Rivalry for the steamiest gay romance I've read yet. I need to stop doing this. I am going live in 10 minutes. But you know what? It's the tension. It's the same tension that I'm feeling with reading this book. You know, it's close to you having to do something, so you need to quickly get something done beforehand. Well, this is what this is right now. So I am currently 21% into For the Fans, and I'm also listening to the audiobook, and I really like the audiobook. It has 2 different narrators, and the voice, or at least it sounds like it anyway, the voices for each of the characters, it alternates between them for every chapter. And I love that because it means I get a much better understanding of who they are as characters. And so far, they haven't done anything to each other yet. There was like a brief moment when Arvi accidentally called Kieran like after bursting into the bathroom and seeing him. But so far, there's like not really been any sexual tension. There's been tension, but not sexual tension. I really enjoyed the fact that this has been a bit slow at the minute. And I say slow between the main characters. Right now, what's happening is definitely steamy. It's very, very interesting. So Arvi and Kieran, so their parents, they are together, which makes them stepbrothers now. And neither of them like want this to happen. Like they don't like one another, and they both end up going to the same college, the same university, and they just like can't seem to escape each other. But something happens like financially that means their position at where they live, like at BC, will be jeopardized. It could potentially be snatched away from them. And one of Arvi's friends, Frankie, she does OnlyFans. And I knew it. I was right. It was about OnlyFans. And honestly, no shame. No shame. I've, like, this is TMI. Like, I've thought about doing OnlyFans myself at one point. I feel like all of us have probably, I mean, okay, maybe not all of us, but I feel like some of us have been like, oh, you know what, I could totally do that as well. And like, I've thought about it. I've seriously thought about it. You can make really good money off there. And so we do have this storyline now where Arvi is, you know, he's joined OnlyFans and he's starting to explore himself and kind of find out what he likes. And that is so interesting to me. Like, I'm really enjoying the storyline in this one more than I did for He Did Rivalry. I'm also loving the fact that nothing has happened between the main characters just yet, but things are happening outside of that. Like what Avi is doing like on OnlyFans and like with his best friend, exploring like a little bit more than that as well, like a bit outside of, honestly, it's just been so fascinating. I'm actually genuinely fascinated in the story. Like not just the romance, but the actual, you know, storyline of it. I'm genuinely intrigued. I could potentially end up like this more than He Did Rivalry. I know. So yeah, 21% in. I would love to finish this today during reading sprints, but I don't know if that'll happen. So, oh my God, I've got 4 minutes. I have 6 hours and 15 minutes left on the audiobook. I doubt it. I doubt I'm going to finish it. So I'll probably end up finishing it tomorrow morning or after sprints out or something. I'm going to be so embarrassed reading this on a live show, honestly, because I'm going to be sitting there probably giggling as everyone's like watching the live show. Oh my God. Is there anything else before I move on? The tension between the stepbrothers and the way that neither of them like one another. Like, I'm not attracted to that in real life. Like, I'm not attracted to guys who act like dicks. But why is it I kind of love the opposite in stories? Like, I love guys who are sarcastic and dickish. Like, in the previous book in He Did Rivalry, when he was being a dick, I found that so attractive and appealing. But if someone's a dick in real life, I hate it. So how this has happened in stories, in these gay romances, and I'm eating it up, it's just like, I don't know, a testament to the authors, maybe. Or maybe I just like the idea of a guy being a douchebag more so than an actual guy being a douchebag in real life. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do this. Not on a live show. Do you know how hard it is reading this book with steam every chapter? I'm 45% in now. Oh my God. The chemistry, okay, is so much hotter, and I'm so sorry, Kristen, so much hotter than He Did Rivalry. I'm sorry. It is very well written as well. Like, very, very well written. It's made me chuckle. I am loving seeing the journey between them. Abby and Kyron, they did like a little test to like see which one of them would like bottom, you know. I'll not say which one it turned out to be because, you know, that's a spoiler. But yeah, well then, his eyes sprang back up to mine and I didn't think it was possible, but my cheeks flushed even harder. Looks like we found our bottom. And it was just so funny the way it happened, but also like still like hot as well. Ugh. And they keep saying, oh, this is for the fans, like, this is for the fans. Like, the amount of excuses, like, oh, this is just business. Like, bullshit. It's not just for the fans, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's so steamy, it's so hot. The way that they are, like, pushing each of those buttons as well, like, it's tense. Like, they resist. And it's, like, pretty much like what I kind of saw in He Did Rivalry, but, like, amped up even more. I feel like, should I be liking this as much as I am? But yeah, they do the recording and they're like, oh, I want to watch it back and stuff, and it's like, it's just so hot. Like, I just can't fathom how steamy it is, and the fact that I'm reading this on a freaking live show. There are some things that should not be read on a live show. I have 130 people watching on my Patreon right now, and they are watching me giggle. They're asking, Gavin, why are you laughing? Why are you giggling for? I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed at how hot it is and how steamy it is. They just finished sexting, and then they decided to FaceTime, and it's so much dirty talk. You know what I'm going to read next? The Bible, because I need it. Oh my God. When he gets the lube and he squirts it on, he's like, that's cold, you bitch. There's just like so many funny moments. The thing was already complicated as fuck before, but now with these stupid butterflies bouncing around my gut, it's just turned into the biggest mess of my life. He bottomed, but I feel like I'm the one who's fucked. I just say, like, that's such good writing. Like, I find the writing to be so good. Like, it's so good. I'm like, I gave the previous one 4.5. How did I give that 4.5? Does that mean I'm allowed to give this one a 5? I don't know. I'm only 45% in. Why this book is so long, I do not know. It is so long. Anyway, now I've got a bloody mess to clean up. But yeah, who knows? Maybe the title will change because it is so long. And I'm like, okay, we're going to get to a point where I'm going to probably find it repetitive. And this like usually happens when I'm reading romance. I'm like, okay, I've seen this before. Like, can we move it on? We can probably end the book now. So hopefully that's not the case with this. Hopefully I still like freaking love it by the end of it. But we still have 55% to go. and I have 2 reading sprints left. So I don't know if I'll quite get it finished tonight. But hey, I'm also doing this for the fans. I have changed into a new hoodie because I did get a little bit wet in the last update. And yeah, I've got my Chairgirls hoodie on, and I came up with a song for the fans. 'Cause we're stepbrothers, we sleep together. And that's all I got up to. Anyway, I did manage to finish for the fans. I didn't finish it on my sprints though. I will admit, I did end up skim reading it. Because after a certain point, I was like, I'm getting deja vu. A lot of it was starting to feel a little bit repetitive. A lot of sex scenes, which again, very, very hot. And I have a theory that the author loves to watch gay corn. And I want to say gay corn because if I say the P word, this video is already demonetized, so it probably doesn't matter. But I could tell this author absolutely loves to watch it. Those smut scenes, they were a little bit realistic, which is great. Although I will say, in a very glamorized way, because what do you mean they're doing all of this without, protection? And this straight man who has never done anal before can just bottom without cleaning oneself and without doing the necessary preparations. What do you mean? So I had to suspend my disbelief for a good chunk of that because there is genuinely no way in bottom hell that could have been done without, a little bit of mess happening. That's why it's very important to clean and to get everything all thinking out. And also the fact that, with them doing it without protection a lot of the times, there wasn't a single conversation about, sexual health. None of that. Nothing about like prep or anything like that. You're just going to go straight into it. I mean, I guess if you want this to remain a hot and steamy time, then sure, you kind of don't want to talk about those serious things. However, I will argue that this book did a lot of serious stuff by the end as well. It wasn't just all fun and games. There was actually like a really sad backstory to one of the characters, which does help to explain some of their character actions and things like that. So that was all fine and well. I did think the characters were still very, very good by the end. But yeah, if you can have something like that in this story and make it like really heavy and like very, very dark, then why not talk about sexual health? Why do all of this without protection and not even just mention once between them? Oh, are you on prep? Like, have you been checked? Like, have you had STI check? Have you done any of these to make sure that nothing gets spread or anything like that? Like, it's very important. Very, very important. But yeah, I was just getting a little bit bored. I'm sorry, like this book is way too long. It's way too long. I was really loving it up to a certain point, and then I was like, okay, I feel like I'm reading the same kind of scene. And I was just wanting it to be over by that point. I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on. I've had my fun. It's like taking a Viagra and you finished having sex like 15 hours ago and you're still hard. That's what this book felt like. It felt like it was overstaying its welcome. And while I did root for the characters by the end and I liked the ending, I needed it to hurry up and wrap things up. But all in all, a good time. It was feeling like a 5 stars to begin with, but now it's more like a 4 star. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I did probably prefer the writing in this than he did Rivalry. I definitely think the sex scenes were a bit more believable if I take the sexual health stuff out of it. I found them to be hotter and steamier and all of that. So that was definitely something that worked well in his favor. But Heated Rivalry was definitely better in terms of tightness and pacing and just knowing when to quit. Knowing when to give up. For the fans, it was like that, random hookup who comes and you just want to try and get them out the fucking house because you're done. Like, hey, I'm done. Get out my house. But they just want to stay and cuddle. Nah, not today. Not today. I'm so tired now. It's just after midnight. I have to be up early because I've got personal training tomorrow. And then I can start my final book, Egotistical Puckboy. And there is a little cafe bit in the gym. I mean, it would be harder to read in there because they do have music. And it would be harder to read. But I might give it a try. I still might give it a try. And then I can probably start Egotistical Puckboy while I'm in the gym. But anyway, I think it's time for bed. Let's get up early and start my final read. Kristen, your recommendations so far have been very, very good. And I said I wanted steamy. And you've given me steamy.
I'm thinking, oh my, what if you just let go of me? 'Cause I don't know if you want it or not. Thinking, oh my, what if you just let go of me? 'Cause I don't know if I'm what you want.
I've been here waiting, it feels like ages. All I can think about is where we went wrong. You can be cold sometimes, don't even know you sometimes. Am I the only one who's trying to hold us?
Just walking home from personal training, and I ended up staying in the little cafe there for about half an hour to read Egotistical Puckboy. Whew, I'm out of breath. It was a great session as well, a really good session. And I ended up doing like a March challenge thing where everyone was like doing like these walking lunges and overhead press. And I'm currently winning in the walking lunges. I got 64 in 60 seconds. So I'm very, very proud about that. But yeah, I thought I would sit in for half an hour having oat milk cappuccino, which was very nice. And I read the first 11% of Egotistical Puckboy. So we are following Ezra and Anton. I don't know if I'm reading too many of these back to back, but I don't know if I'm feeling this one just yet. Like, I do love the whole enemies to lovers thing, but this one happened like very quickly. Like by chapter 2 they were fucking, and I don't really get the whole like, why are they so angry at one another in this one? So like Ezra was our first POV character, and he's like, oh, Anton is a dick. But the first thing we see is Ezra being a dick to Anton. So I'm like, well, Ezra, you're being a dick. So I don't really get it. And yeah, they're doing it by chapter 2. And Ezra's like, oh, this is the best sex of my life, like the best dick I've ever had. And I'm like, really? All it was like was up against a wall, and it lasted like maybe less than a minute. I mean, I don't care if Anton's dick is massive. It doesn't look any bigger than the Mauritania. So I didn't really find that scene hot, to be honest. I mean, they did talk about prep, they did talk about condoms, and so I was like, okay, so we've accomplished in 10% of this book what for the fans failed to do in 100% of the book. Okay, that's pretty good. I feel like each of these books that I'm reading are going to have different strengths and weaknesses. So Heated Rivalry, so far for me, I've enjoyed the most, mainly because characters, like I like the characters the most. For the fans had the steamiest sex scenes, so I wonder if maybe Egotistical Puckboy will have the best conversations around sexual health, maybe, and all of that. I don't know if I love it just yet though, but it could just be the fact that I am maybe reading too much at once, you know, like back to back to back, and now like maybe getting a little bit bored of the format of it. But I'm still gonna give it a chance. It is the shortest one on the TBR, so it will probably also be the best in terms of pacing, because it is shorter than the rest of them. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Oh, another thing I really do like about this one is that Ezra is currently out and proud, and Anton is gay and people know about it, but it's not like widely known. I kind of like that change up from the previous 2 books I read, because the previous 2 books was the characters thinking they were straight and realizing their sexuality is different. So I kind of like that this one's a little bit different because we have Ezra who is out, so that's good. But I'm excited to see what happens with Anton and his own feelings about maybe coming out to, you know, like the NFL and stuff like that. So yeah. Oh, but one thing I didn't love is that Anton took advantage of Ezra, because Ezra was so very drunk. And even though they were like, oh, but it could only last 10 seconds, blah, 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 it was still like taking advantage of someone who was absolutely drunk. So drunk they had to be taken home by them. So I didn't love the fact that that was their first encounter. Just wasn't hot for me. Wasn't hot.
Cause now I'm thinking, oh my, what if you just let go of me? Cause I don't know if you want it or not. Thinking, oh my, what if you just let go of me? Cause I don't know if I'm what you want. So many things I'd like to say to you.
Okay, we are ending on a bit of a bum note, which is actually kind of apt for this vlog, but I have decided to DNF Egotistical Puckboy. I'm sorry, I DNF'd at 42%. Like, how do we have a book that is written by 2 people and it's somehow like worse than the first 2 books, which were written by one person? Sometimes two heads are not better than one, but I just can't believe I said one people like. So should you actually take anything I say seriously? Because I obviously can't speak. However, I was just getting really fed up with, like, it wasn't really feeling enemies to lovers. It wasn't feeling like true angst. It felt a little bit like petty because they were starting to pull pranks on one another. I'm just like, oh my God. Some of the getting to know you scenes, you know, like the getting to know you parts of like romance books where it's like a date or something. We had like a karaoke scene of 13%. That was just so cringy. So cringy. And then we had them at this really cute little animal shelter where they can, you know, see all of these like homeless puppies and kittens and, you know, oh my God, like he's so cute when he like holds that dog. Oh my God. Like, it's so forced, so contrived. I've realized that I'm not a big fan of romances where people date. If you know what I mean, like, it's not really like that. It's just that I don't like boring dates. I don't like it when people are boringly getting to know one another because it feels too much like real life and it just doesn't feel creative. So the whole karaoke thing, oh my God, that was the moment when I was like, and it was not long after, you know, like I'd left the gym and I was like reading in here and I got to what, 11% in the gym and it was a 13%, the karaoke bit. Oh, so diabolical. And I just love how Anton is like, oh, I'm way more than just my sexuality, which is why I don't plaster it everywhere. However, every chance he got, he was reminding you that he's gay. Every chance he got. One of them asking the other, are you still an asshole? And them just like being all catty and petty. And I'm just like, I'm not exactly seeing how they're being assholes exactly, other than just like the childish back and forth that they're doing. I feel like I have literally just been plonked into this story and all of the good tension, all of the good asshole douchery has already happened, and now we're at the tail end of that as they are, you know, doing it by chapter 2. And like, can I just say as well, when they're doing it, it doesn't last very long. I don't know if maybe I'm desensitized to these sex scenes now, but they aren't really lasting all that long and they're not really that great. Saying the word COCK is not making the scene hotter for me, unfortunately. Maybe it did in the first book, but now I'm at the end of the vlog. I'm also at the end of my rope when it comes to just the description of a smut scene just being the same. Nothing really new, nothing really different happening there. I probably was spoiled from the previous 2 books, like being so hot and steamy, that by the time this book rolled along, it just was a little too late. There was also going to be some tension as well with, you know, the teammates, because Anton has now joined Ezra's, you know, hockey team. And I thought, oh, maybe this will be a good, like, kind of narrative choice if we have them not doing so well because they don't really work well together. However, they win their first game. They don't win their second game, but like they do like win a lot of games together. And it's just like that. And like the instant, you know, teamwork is kind of like really grating to me because it could have been such a good narrative choice to have them not working well together, the team failing, and then as the relationship grows between them, the team actually gets better because of them. You know, that could have been so interesting to read about, but no, they were winning straight away. That their first game they won, they lost against Dallas, but then they won again, and it was just getting so boring, that part as well. I'm just like, I'm not actually enjoying any aspect of the story. I'm not enjoying them getting to know one another. I'm not really enjoying the sex scenes. And I'm sorry, but the writing is flatter than the batteries in my vibrator. It feels like this is being judged at. And if I hear about somebody's body humming one more time, I would have slapped someone in the face. It is that serious. Yeah, the banner wasn't all that good. It got to the point where they were just pranking one another, like putting a jockstrap in someone's bed and then, you know, conspiring with another teammate to like take all the furniture out. I was just like, what am I reading? What am I actually reading right now? I don't want to read about these men acting like teenagers, doing these stupid pranks that aren't even funny. And it did really just feel like a desperate attempt at having a conflict between them, when really there shouldn't be conflict between them. There's just nothing that I'm seeing 42% in that warrants the amount of hatred towards one another. There's just like nothing to warrant it. They were instantly attracted to one another. Again, they slept with each other by chapter 2. So like, what am I left with? I'll tell you what, absolutely freaking nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that's why I'm taking F in this one. Kristen, I am so sorry to all those egotistical Puckboy fans out there. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. But I think I just enjoyed the first 2 way too much for me to even entertain the idea of reading this 3rd book and seeing it through to the end. Unfortunately, I don't have this time to waste. And I generally do feel like the romances I read, the ones that I enjoy are the ones that aren't where they are just like conventionally dating, and the ones where they are just going on these boring dates, getting to know one another. I don't care about your life. your fiction. And obviously that goes against so many romances, so I'm still struggling and I'm still going to try and find a romance that speaks to my soul. And so my journey and adventure of trying to find a 5-star romance and a romance that I will genuinely love and adore and think is amazing is still continuing. I can't remember a romance I've given a 5-star to, if I've ever given a 5-star romance. So the journey doth continue. Also, my decision to DNF did not come from the fact that Jetlag the Game have started their new season on Nebula today. So yeah, I did end up reading Heated Rivalry and gave that one 4.5 stars. I read For the Fans and I gave that one 4 stars. And then I finished this vlog with Egotistical Puckboy, which I am unfortunately DNFing. I apologize. But Kristen, thank you so much for your steamy male romance recommendations. I've really appreciated it. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if you read any of the books that I read in this video. Do you enjoy Heated Rivalry? Do you enjoy For the Fans? Are you a fan of Egotistical Puckboy? Let me know everything down in the comments. I'd love to chat to you. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.